Hey everyone, sorry for the mini hiatus. It's just ever since Chadwick Boseman's death and Linda Hamilton's twin sister, as well as an incident involving a rat at my day job, it's been hard for me to try and get on camera and make content like normal. So, sorry about that, but I'm back, hopefully getting that creative mojo out now. So, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies. Yeah, it took me a while to get around to talking about this one, so let's talk about it. Let's see who made it. Not familiar with the director, written by Tim Sheridan. I feel like I know that. He's written for Teen Titans Go, and that's the only thing I know that he's done. As for the cast, we have Darren Criss. He was Music Meister in The Flash and Supergirl, so he's familiar with the DC universe. Zachary Quinto. Come on, y'all know who Zachary Quinto is. He was Sylar from Heroes, and he's Spock in the new Star Trek movies. And Alexandra Daddario. You might remember her from like Baywatch and San Andreas. Oh, and the Percy Jackson movies. Almost forgot about those. So anyway, part of the reason why it took me so long to review this movie is mostly because I feel like I got misinformation about when it would be released on video on demand. It was more like it was available for video on demand as advertised, but only to buy, and I was not about to buy something that I didn't know that I was gonna like. So I was gonna wait for it on rental, but I found, free sites to see it on, so I opted for that instead. So prior to seeing this, I didn't know what to think. On the one hand, I kind of held a grudge against it because it signaled a new DC animated universe, because what with the end of the New 52 animated universe with Justice League Apocalypse War, and I felt like that was kind of a cheap way to end that universe. I don't know. This one was weird. Not in terms of the art style necessarily. It just didn't look like it was going to be up my alley for whatever reason. Point is, I didn't think that highly of the project, and I wasn't really looking forward to it. But it's a DC animated movie. I had to check it out at some point. So here we are. This is my honest opinion of Superman, Man of Tomorrow.
Breaking news. An unidentified object heading towards Earth was detected by Star Labs.
Look! Up in the sky!
Why are you here?
Why are you here, Kryptonian?
Are you right, Miss Lane?
What's the S for?
Superman. My name is Kal-El of Krypton, and I come in peace.
It's been a while since I've seen it, so I hope I can remember everything. It's okay. It's not bad. I actually like it more than I don't. Let's start with the positives. One of the things that I'm starting to like more and more as I watch superhero stories are cheap beginnings, are cheap costumes that the superheroes start off with that slowly evolves into the more iconic suits that they wear. Like Iron Man's Mach 1 suit when he escapes from Afghanistan, and I'm referring to the movies, of course. Daredevil and his all-black attire with the black mask covering his eyes. There's a lot of superheroes that do that sort of thing, and I kind of like the cheap beginnings. And this is very similar to that. He's just in jeans and has a flight jacket with goggles on. I kind of like that design. I gotta say that Lois's introduction into this story is probably the best introduction to Lois that I've seen in any Superman or DC related property in years. You get a clear sense of what her character's like in the original Richard Donner films, but this, I don't know if I've seen another Lois Lane portrayal that worked quite as well as it did in this movie here. I mean, she basically starts this movie off with taking down Lex Luthor. That's actually kind of badass when you think about it. Not entirely sure how I feel about it being like that's how she started off working at the Daily Planet. The story implies that Clark has been working at the Daily Planet longer than Lois Lane. And I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of like that, you know, she was already an established and respected reporter. But I do kind of like that she had to work up to that position, and this is the story that got her to where she ultimately ends up. Lobo, just Lobo. Lobo is like a very violent hug. He just makes everything amazing. Plus, I love his weaponry. I mean, look at this gun. It fires evil electric space slugs. You don't get much more creative than that. That is such a Lobo weapon. Hell, this entire action sequence between Superman and Lobo is actually really well done and pretty exciting. I don't know what it is, but I kind of like that the Kents created the super suit. I don't know if that was actually in the comics or not, but I don't think I've ever seen that in any of the movies. Like, he just sort of gets it. Even in the Richard Donner films, he just sort of appears with the suit.
You can embody the best of both worlds. The dream your mother and I dedicated our lives to preserve. The people of Earth are different from us, it's true.
And oh my god, that face!
And then some of this and some of that.
That is such an amazing face. Only Lobo could make someone make that face. Huh. Superman working with Lex. That is certainly something you don't see every day. And when Lex is like a bad guy, I'm aware of the Injustice universe where Superman and Lex were actually best friends. And I think Smallville did that same thing. I never watched the show. But yeah, when Lex is evil and Superman, them working together, you don't see that very often. Kind of like how different that was feeling. And of course, Lex would hire Lobo. I mean, of course he would. So here's the thing about Daddario. I actually do really like her as an actress, but she is a bit miscast here as Lois Lane. Now, I have something of a defense for her in a minute, but as far as the voice work is concerned, Lois is that type of character that when she enters the room, she commands your attention. She has this strong personality that just lets everyone know that she's in charge. When she talks, you listen. And if you try not to listen, she will badmouth you right into your face and command you to listen to her. At least that's how her personality comes across. This was very well done by Margot Kidder in the original Superman movie, of course.
Say hello to Clark Kent. Hold you one, Pete.
Remember my dynamite expose on the sex and drug orgy?
But has since kind of faltered in terms of her live-action performances, whether it's Kate Bosworth or even Amy Adams, who really did not fit the role. Well, she could have been fine if the character was written better, but anyway. Daddario does not have that kind of voice. Anytime whenever she reads a line, I just don't hear Lois. Yes, I said the character was written well, and she is, but being written well doesn't necessarily carry over to line reads. And it's not that they're bad, but they're not... Daddario just doesn't have that commanding voice that is required out of a Lois Lane performance. Now, weirdly enough, though, when you get to the scenes where she's supposed to be a little more compassionate, 'cause it's not like Lois is a stone-cold bitch, right? Like, she has compassion. She's a good guy in retrospect. There's a reason why Superman falls in love with her and why they have children, depending on iterations that you read. So when she has to be compassionate, Daddario has that down to a T, of course. She has a very soft voice, so that works to her advantage. The problem is, like I said, the commanding voice. Here's where I defend Daddario in a way. I think she would make a wonderful live action Lois. I think even better than Amy Adams. Really think about this. She, for one thing, she kind of looks like Lois. She's more brunette than Amy Adams is. But more than that, look at those eyes.
Your soul is mine.
Those things steal your soul, man. But that's such a great thing to have for Lois Lane. Piercing eyes that just like split you in half. Now the only thing that we would need is a character that's as well written here, but also have a director that can bring out that commanding presence that I do believe Daddario can have. You just need the right performance. You need the right director to bring that out of her. She's kind of done it before in the Percy Jackson movies. Not well, but if you need her to be a tough, stone-cold bitch, she can play that role. So not great as an animated Lois here, but I do believe she has wonderful potential as a live-action Lois. Does everything need to come back to Batman? Seriously, Clark gets the cape idea from Batman. There's like a scene where Lois leaves behind some work that she has, and she's got like little sticky notes on some photographs, one of them of Batman, and on that sticky note is cool cape. And then Clark in the next scene goes home, throws on a blanket over his neck, and is like, huh. Does everything need to come back to Batman? Does Batman truly need to be an inspiration to all superheroes? While I maintain that Lobo is definitely the most hilarious character and probably the most fun out of all the characters in the movie, unfortunately, the movie just leaves way too many questions as to why he's even in the movie in the first place. While I'm sure a sequel will probably explain this away, at least pretend that you're going to have a standalone story, you know? It's never explained why he's here. Who hired Lobo to hunt down the last Kryptonian? Who even knew that Superman was on Earth? It's just kind of lame that this is supposed to be open for sequel baits, and it's annoying. While I understand that the relationship between Superman and Lois Lane is pretty iconic as far as superhero relationships are concerned, I was actually kind of excited for this interpretation of their relationship, because it looks like they're going to start off not getting along. Not just simply she disregards him because he's just, he's beneath her. After this big fight scene with Parasite, Clark finds himself in bed at his apartment, and Lois comes by as if like she wants to take the story of what Superman and Parasite were doing. I forget the particulars. There goes the memory thing. But you get the idea. Like, it looked like she was only there to get a story, not because she actually cared. That's what it comes across to Clark, even though, yeah, she does care, but she is still kind of that ruthless reporter. So I was kind of looking forward to maybe they have to kind of work their way toward a relationship, that she had to make things up to him, and that's why they ultimately have a relationship in the end, not just because she's intrigued by Superman, but because she's also intrigued by Clark, you know? I was hoping they were going to go that direction. They don't. Superman just sort of forgives her in the end, and that's kind of lame to me. Sorry, just had dinner and I feel like I'm about to fall asleep. So, let's talk about the negatives. I'm not entirely convinced that the first, 5-ish minutes of this movie are all that necessary. I guess I can be grateful that we, for once, see a Superman origin story and we don't have to see Krypton blow up. You know, the parents get all weepy and in the spaceship and everything. We've seen it. We've seen that origin story of Superman, you know? We're good. The habit we need to start getting into now is not worrying about portraying our favorite heroes as kids. I mean, I get it. When you're a kid and you got these superpowers, you don't know what to do with them. It can be a jarring experience, to say the least. But certainly, Man of Steel and the Christopher Reeve Superman movie, I think we've touched upon the childhood thing too. I don't know how many times you can portray Superman as a kid and mix it up in a way that audiences will not be bored with. Even if you can come up with variations, will it truly be enough to justify having these moments in these stories? Again, we get it. To make matters even weirder, it's not like Clark even has that many lines. In fact, no, he doesn't have a line. In that entire beginning of the movie, he has no lines. Like, he covers his eyes he covers his eyes when he starts crying because the little boy sitting next to him saying that aliens are scary makes him cry. That's his one line, if you can call crying a line. And when he goes home, he's playing around with his little alien puzzle box thing, and he gets angry and grunts and throws it. Again, not much of a line. So was it really all that necessary? You know, I get that we like having throwbacks to very famous quotes like "look up in the sky," but by heavenly Jesus, this was painful to watch.
Look! Up in the sky!
Ugh, that hurts so much. I also don't really like how he realizes at long last that the sun is what gives him his powers. What even gave it away? I'm not even sure it was made clear in this scene. And throughout his entire life, he never noticed that it was the sun that gave him energy. Like, he had to have gotten hurt in some way, shape, or form as a kid. The sun reaching up and getting those glowy rays, that never happened. This was the first time in his life. I don't buy it. That was weak. Okay, I'm sure the cheap look of the animation was a little intended, but this healing animation just looks like something I could do with Microsoft Paint. Like, holy damn, that does not look good. Oh my god, this entire climax was so distracting. You will never convince me that Parasite does not look like 98 Godzilla. I mean, really look at him. He's got the same, like, flattened face that kind of curves downward, if you know what I mean. He's got the back spikes and everything. He has atomic breath. It's like, what is happening? What is this something that Parasite can actually do? Comic book fans, please tell me, can Parasite like grow himself to a kaiju level? Like, this was weird. This was a weird ass climax for me. I'm all for Zachary Quinto reprising his role as Lex Luthor in any sequel, but man, just flat out saying, I'm gonna make you my slaves, you all my slaves, like...
Oh, hell. I'll just make you both my slaves.
Jesus Christ. This is like a 10-year-old playing with his G.I. Joe army figures and having Cobra say that line. Like, it's just, wow. So ham-fisted. I'm sorry, did a dumbass person just throw a Molotov cocktail at a pissed off monster? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. This climax is so dumb. Quick spoiler here. If you don't want to hear about it, jump to this time code. It's really quick though. It's not even all that bad, but anyway. I was so excited for this movie's choices because it looked like they were going to straight up kill Martian Manhunter and Lobo. And this actually kind of legit confuses me because isn't a Green Martian's weakness fire? And it was, if I remember correctly, he had a weak-ass reason to explain how he survived, too. Yeah, wasn't it like, I made him see what he wanted to see, or I fooled his brain?
But the parasite, I saw it kill you.
You saw what I wanted it to see.
He basically did a Jedi mind trick. Is that something that Jon Jones can do? And even Lobo, I had no idea the dude was immortal.
You could have mentioned the immortality.
I like to keep people guessing.
Is he? In the comics? Like, is he immortal? I just assumed he was super strong. The Justice League cartoon never portrayed him as immortal, just super strong. Overall, the movie's not really that good, but I don't think it's that bad either. I was more entertained by it than I probably led on. So if you're one of those, like me, who likes the DC animated films probably more than the live action stuff that Warner Brothers puts out, you'll be entertained enough. The art style is definitely something to get used to, but you do get used to it as you watch it. And some of the characters are actually done pretty well. So I am going to recommend people checking this out if you're a fan of the franchise. My honest rating for Superman Man of Tomorrow, a strong 3 out of 5. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there. Please wear a mask if you go out. Hope to see you soon.